So here we are, guys. We talked about the topic is envious friends, right?
Yep.
I think I'm not gonna say we've, but at least I have experienced that. I venture to say that a lot of people have. Envious, jealous, whatever word you want to use. But the questions are, how do you identify them? What are some of the things you consciously or subconsciously look for regarding these type friends? And can you remain friends with such a person?
Okay.
My first question is, what's wrong with an envious friend? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Yeah, what is wrong
Wait.
with that?
Wait. I want to go into that a little more because
This is good.
why are we defining people based on an emotion that people experience from time to time? Like, because sometimes I feel like upset, or sometimes I get angry. Am I an angry person? Am I like a sad person all the time? But also, like, I'm the first person to admit, like, I have been like that envious friend, you know, like I have seen my friends like successes, and sometimes like I am that person in my head. I'm like happy for them, but I'm also like, damn, like, how do I get that, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think, Jonathan, is this coming from like an experience that you've had with a friend or something? Because like, I don't know where you're going.
I don't want to dive into the experience, but yes, it is.
Okay.
But let's redefine it then. So envy is a natural emotion, right?
Yeah,
but
we're all human beings. We get that.
Yeah, it happens. Like, hey, man, I've been working hard on my physique, but he looks way better than me. Or girls are more attracted to him, or whatever. He makes more money, got a better car, whatever. Like, that happens. But I think if that emotion is not superseded by good intentions, it drives the relationship in a rocky place, right? So as long as you have the core of you is good intentions, that you want the best for that person, it's okay to be jealous or envious that they may have accomplished something well before you have, right? That's natural. But if that envy or jealousy supersedes the good intentions, then you're out to get them. You want to see them fail.
So they're actively trying to make you fail because of their envy versus someone who's this guy.
That's different though. See?
Yeah, I don't know that that's what envy really leads to. Like, I feel like from my experiences with it, like when I've had a friend like envious of me, or I've been envious of somebody else, like really what happens is like it begins to like persist in the relationship. Like it's a topic that comes up over and over, and it's not coming up in like a positive, like congratulatory light. Like, I think when somebody accomplishes something and they're close to you, or even when they're not that close to you, when they're just kind of like in your friend orbit and you know them and you know they're celebrating something, like you want to be able to respond in a way that's like congratulatory, right? Like you're really happy for them. But then like when those emotions start to creep in and you start to kind of become like a negative Nancy, or I don't know what you call it. But you know what I mean? You start asking those questions like, but what about, or like you just start letting little doubts like seep in, and like little negative like comments, and it becomes like persistent, and then you know like something's up, right?
So do you keep that friend in that space you just described? Do they stick around? Here's an example. I'll give a slight kind of story here. So I bought a home, my first home, and shared it with a close friend of mine, and I was excited. Right? It was something that that person and I had talked about as being a pivotal goal. And I was excited to invite them over. Like, hey, this is what I was able to do. And I was expecting an embrace or a, man, happy for you, dog. Like, yo, you did it. I am not there yet, but you did it first, and I'm proud of you. I'm happy. This is nice area. But when they walked in, it was like, I mean, it's okay.
Wait, they were downplaying it?
Yeah.
It was like
they're like negging you a little.
It was like downplaying it. And the crazy part is the next week they started looking for a home rigorously, aggressively. And they identified things that my home didn't have. I owned a townhome at that point, and I didn't have a big yard. I didn't have a porch. So they strategically looked for things that I didn't have to one up me almost. So I didn't realize in that moment that that's what that was until later, but that's kind of what I'm asking. Do you guys subconsciously or consciously? I'm not trying to project either.
It also depends on the relationship, right? So like, one thing that happened, right, was like when we were in college, me and Sean had a TV battle, right? Like we're like, oh, I got this
Oh, yeah.
TV.
I remember that.
Sean's like, oh, you got a TV? I'm gonna get a TV, and his TV was a little better. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go and get my TV a little. You know, it's
right
like
here.
it's a very like
rivalry,
right? And it like, but it wasn't like in a negative way. We were pushing each other, right? It's more like pushing each other.
So that's healthy. That's healthy.
Which is
That's
different
healthy,
than what you're talking
That's healthy.
about.
Yeah.
If someone comes in is like super neg on me all the time, I kind of just like don't talk to them anymore. Like it's
No,
like
but
I keep a positive environment around me, right? Like it doesn't seem...
in my experience, that's where we were. We were like, hey, it's almost like a healthy kind of sibling rivalry. Like, hey, I push you, you push me. I get this, you get this, and we just slowly but surely climb this ladder of success. And that's kind of what that's my vantage point. But I realized that it wasn't from a healthy place. It was an envious place. Like, I want your spot. I want these things that you have, and I want to get them way before you. And I can't celebrate you if you get them faster than I do. So
that's true. So,
what else does this person bring to the table in terms of like friendship? Like, I think when you're weighing like, should I keep the friendship, or is this like a deal breaker? You really have to consider like really the whole friendship. Like, where have you guys come from? Like, and you know, you don't want to rely too heavily on the past because that's not bringing you forward, right? Like, really it's about what's happening now. But like, can you continue to like move in a positive direction, or is this something that's really shaping your friendship that maybe you need to just take a step back from and explore other friendships, or kind of lean on other people for a little while until this topic kind of settles down and then you guys can revisit? Or maybe you guys kind of just drift apart? Like,
yeah, so that's, for me, that's one of those pivotal things, foundational things. If there's envy that is superseded by good intentions, then it's like a prerequisite for me in terms of friendship, right? Because that all ties to loyalty and all these different things, which are foundational components of friendship. So to answer your question, I couldn't continue the friendship regardless of what they provided otherwise. I don't care if they're the smartest person, the best cook, the best advice. If they don't have my best interests at heart, if they can't celebrate me, even if it's in small wins, I don't want them around me.
So Jonathan, to your point though, I've personally experienced something like that myself as well in the past. And you don't realize it until it's a little bit later, right?
Correct. Too late.
It's too late, correct. But there's nothing you can do to change the past. The only thing you could do is try to be more aware of that. And you're right. At the end of the day, for me, I don't really say, hey, I'm not going to be friends with you. I just part ways. You know what I mean?
Slowly, it's kind of slowly.
Yeah, it fizzles out. Correct. Yeah, and it happens though too. Also,
it's
with
like
life,
a natural thing.
People change. People change.
Yeah. But people change. I agree. I don't write them off. Say, hey, I hate you for what you did. It's just that people can change. You're right, Michelle. But one of the things is that what Jonathan's trying to say is that
write them off.
I celebrate their wins and their support. Right. I would respect the mutual respect as well. Same. That's all it comes down to, right? Because
but the struggle, I think, is a different topic. But the struggle I think a lot of us deal with is we expect us from other people, right? So
see, that's a mindset though. See, for me, I don't expect anything in return. I do this, at least personally myself.
No, not a return. Not a return. I'm saying you put yourself in their shoes, looking at you accomplishing things. You're like, well. Yeah. I would have given her flowers. I would have given him a wallet or cologne to support.
I see what you're saying.
It's how you express care in a friendship.
That's true.
Like very similar to how you express care in a relationship. Like people having two different love languages. You hear people talking about that. Like I think that's very similar in friendships as well. Like, are you guys speaking the same language? Has somebody started speaking a different language now? And
that's true.
Yeah.
You know? Also, I have a different perspective on how to go about it, because if I have a friend like that, I'd be like super spiteful and like go 1,000 times over what they do. Like
harder.
I go so much harder.
Yeah.
Me too.
I get like a bigger house. I get a better car. I'd be like, all right, catch up, bitch. That's what I
would say. Here's a story. Here's a story. So I showed this particular person. I said, hey, this is the car I want, on my phone. I said, hey, I've been saving. I'm not there yet, but this is what I want. I'm gonna get it, And then 6 months roll by, and this person pulls up in the car that I showed them.
Oh, dang.
Down to the caliper color. Right?
Oh,
you can paint the caliper color.
Yeah.
So for those that aren't aware, that's something that supports the brakes, like a brake system.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to call anybody out, but
I know. Listen, I know a little bit about cars. I didn't know you. I don't think you logged on.
Michelle,
but
that
my
was
car
for me.
Right now, okay. Like I know.
Oh, okay.
Michelle, that was for me. Like I don't know what a caliper is. That's what.
So yeah, it was for Rob. But so Robert, a few months later, I said, okay, that's cool. I bite that little embarrassment, and then I bought the model that was upgraded from that.
Hey.
So it was in that moment it was healthy, I thought, but it got to a place where it was
so Jonathan, let me ask you this though. Maybe that person admires you, to be honest. You never know.
Of course. Humbly, of course, but I admire people that I'm not envious of. I celebrate those people.
But it's harder because sometimes people have trouble expressing their admiration for somebody other. I'm trying to be like Jonathan, so I'm gonna buy the same car. You see what I'm saying? It may not be done on purpose sometimes, but you're right. Some people are aware of it and they do it as a negative thing where it kind of hurts you.
Much, so.
No, I get it. No, I get it. Sometimes people are just trying to show off in a way that, hey, I could be better than that person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another example. So I don't know if you're into like shoes and stuff. Say you bought like the Yeezys or whatever.
Yeah.
That was hot right now.
Yep.
And you walk into the room and everybody, oh, those are nice, blah, blah. And that person is there. They realize what you're getting, that attention, that clout, whatever. So they go out and buy the same pair, but a different color, right? That type of stuff is what I'm subconsciously looking for now, given my experience, right?
Oh.
And
I don't know, like unless they're doing something to like negatively affect me.
I agree.
I'm not really worried.
I was just gonna
not worried about it either.
Like, there's a difference between like going out and buying like a different color of the same shoe, and you guys being like, check it out, we got the same shoes. What?
Yeah.
But and then them shitting on your shoe after they buy their.
True.
It's more like if say like I'm like, oh, this is the job I want, and I'm like, I'm gonna go do this job, and then they're like, oh, he's almost got the job. He's got like an on-site. I'm gonna call them up and tell them, oh, this guy's shit. He can't do the work. And then mess with you, right? I think that's different. Where like that envy leads to something worse for me. That would be like something that I would be looking for, rather than like if they're copying me, like that's the highest form of praise, right?
Respect. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So Jonathan, something really funny. Me, Sam, and my friend John, we had the same pair of shoes.
But did you get the 2019, 2020 version, 2021 version? They're all the same.
They're all the same exact year, same exact model, same exact color. And the reason why,
unintentionally?
No, purposely. Because
that's friendship.
That's friendship. Yeah.
So wait, let me ask you something. It sounds like he really admires you. Like, are there things about him that you admire?
Oh yeah, and I celebrated him in that moment, like in those moments, in those perspectives, in those umbrellas of life.
Yeah,
I acknowledge, hey, you're better than me than this. Hey, I wouldn't have made it through this process without you.
But has he hurt you negatively? Just wondering.
I think like the neg side is the problem.
That's the problem.
I didn't share all the details, but
okay, wait. So I got one more question. This is it, I promise. So with you, because I very much am the kind of person that like would want to like speak up and let somebody know when I felt like I've been hurt, or like something has bothered me. So like, have you considered talking to him about this and just being open and like letting him know, like, hey, like I noticed you came over and I didn't really feel. I know this is kind of a hard ask for some guys.
We're guys though. We don't talk.
I know, that's why I'm saying it's hard for some guys.
When we're the most bothered, we're the most quiet.
Yes, that's true.
Species.
100% agree.
It's a flaw in our design. We don't communicate as well as you all, or at least most women. So we'll harbor a lot of things, and we'll make sometimes accurate or inaccurate perceptions about how people have navigated in our lives, and we make decisions based on that. And say, hey, Robert was supposed to bring Hennessy. He promised me to bring Hennessy to the podcast. He brought rosé, so I don't mess with
my bad. I can go get some Hennessy. Man,
bring the whole car cart over.
Yeah, I got a whole cart over here. If you want some, man, I didn't know that was part of the deal.
Yeah, that's prerequisites to friendship, sir.
Oh, damn. All right, well, let me go switch off to something else. I think. I think it has to do with like the whole body of friendship, right? And a lot of the people that if they come over, like if that happened to me, where like they came over and they didn't have any good things to say or anything, like I kind of just would like naturally stop talking to them, like slowly, just like I wouldn't bring up any more successes, because it's hard to like you bring up successes to be like, oh, we can celebrate together. If they're not celebrating with you, like that's
I know,
not
but
my mission.
some successes you don't have to bring up. They're visible just in your life.
That's true. They are
That's
visible,
true.
and
Yeah.
and you will think that they will have the natural best intent for you because you celebrate the success. They will do the same thing for you, but it sounds like they're hurting you negatively, which I very dislike in a sense. And you're right. I think at that point that there is no point of wasting more time to keep that friendship. I value my time a lot more than before, and I tend to do that a lot. You know, I'm more conscious of it, just like you are, Jonathan. I'm more conscious about it too as well. So
yeah. So
that's a tough call. You know,
it is
like,
a tough call, though. It is.
Is hard. Like I had a really good friend who, like, our friendship ended up in flames, and this was like about a year ago, and it was not pretty. And to me, it was like such a violation of trust. Like, it was so hurtful. It was almost like a breakup, like a bad breakup. So that can be really challenging.
That's true, though. And I think every case will vary, right? I mean, it sounds like you know what you're doing, Jonathan, with your case, but also at the same time, Michelle, you do have a point, though, because I tend to think the good people do change. And so, but if they're not aware what they're doing, or, you know, they're not, or I let them, at least I will let them know, hey, I'm straightforward and say, hey, this is what you're doing. I don't, you know, I don't feel like we're gelling or whatever it is. And then I tend to like back away from it. But if they recognize that and they apologize from that behavior, that's a different story, though.
Depends on the relationship. I don't really talk to people like that.
That's true. Me neither. Like I said, the closer the relationship is, the more I'll talk to them about it. But
Robert's a ghoster. He'll just ghost.
It's not ghost. It's just like I won't like. You're not on the top of my mind of someone I bring stuff up to, right? So just you slowly just fade away.
No, that's a skill you and I both have. We share in common is the ability to literally mentally erase someone, right? Where they no longer cross your path, and it's a very dangerous skill. But
and sometimes it's not even on purpose. It's
like,
right. Damn, guys. Sometimes
it's just like if I see you every day, and then like you're on top of my mind. If you're not, like it's hard to like just think outside of my bubble that I'm in.
Yeah.
We're cold-hearted sometimes, you guys.
That's probably what it is, really.